This is the Dodgers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Dodgers POSTCAST on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. I am Pete Fox, covering sports in LA since 2007 for ESPN LA and NBC Sports Radio. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers POSTCAST is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is around the corner. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now. Well, the Dodgers breakout today. Open up a can, 11-4 the final. That's nice to see. Good feeling. Lots of offense. Nothing wrong with what we saw tonight. But we've already started with some negativity in the chat, which is always good. The Dodgers are baseball's greatest illusion. One fluke ring in 35 years, and they act like it erases decades of choking. That 2024 title, congrats. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Okay, Evan. So I'm not understanding which one is the fluke. I guess 2020 is the fluke. Last year, not a fluke. Okay. You have a Blackhawks logo. Remind me how many World Series the Cubs have in that period of time? One, right? And how many the White Sox have? One. Okay. Evan says both are flukes. Okay. Whatever, dude. Sure. There's more from Evan. The Dodgers are proof that no matter how much money you spend, you can't buy a backbone. Wow. I have no idea where this is coming from. He's a Yankees fan. Okay. And you want to talk about buying things. You're a Yankees fan, Evan, and we're going to talk about buying things. Okay. Whatever, dude. Sure. 2020 doesn't count. Quickly explain to me why it doesn't count. Because the Dodgers played fewer games than every other team? Because every other team, including your Yankees, didn't have an opportunity to win that same World Series? I know it's not the same as a regular World Series because it was different, but it's still a ring. It's still something. It's still a championship. So you could say it doesn't count, but your Yankees didn't win it, and 29 other teams also didn't win it. So take that logic and, stick it. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And I appreciate you jumping on to start the show off with complete and utter negativity. Thank you so much. I was going to start with this by a little bit of a backtrack, a backpedal from last night, because a lot of people were pissed that I didn't put the loss on Teo. And the reason for that was against the Rockies, who are awful offensively and defensively, I felt like Yamamoto, who's one of the best pitchers in baseball, should have been better, right? I understand that, so should have Teo. So the loss to me was equally on both of them. And that's where I was a little bit wrong, and that's where I'm backpedaling a little bit. I said it wasn't on Teo at all. It was partially on Teo. And even Dave Roberts said that. Dave said that he has to be better out there. And you guys were all calling Dave Roberts a pushover and a softie. I even said that's not Dave's game to call people out. And I did comment that he'd said things about Shohei that should be better. He called out Teo last night. So those of you that said that he's a softie, you can backpedal as well, because I believe that that's calling him out, saying Teo has got to be better defensively. And he kind of called out the whole team, saying they have to be better, right? It's not acceptable losing to this team when you're the Dodgers. I'm sorry. So yeah, a little bit of a different feeling for me as to how I looked at last night's game. The the utter fact was, I just feel like the Dodgers shouldn't be losing to the Rockies. And generally speaking, they don't. That snapped a 10-game winning streak against Colorado last night, and right back on the horse tonight. And no, nail biter 3-2 win that they had to gut out in the ninth with a, scrappy bullpen performance. Every starter in the lineup tonight had a base hit, and that's huge. And again, it's against Austin Gomber. And I said, if they don't beat Austin Gomber, I'm going to come in here and be hot under the collar. And they laid it on Gomber, who gave up 7 runs. His ERA went from mid-6s to the mid-7s. 7 runs on 9 hits. He only survived 3 innings, struck out 2. Sheehan, on the other hand, went 6 with 7 Ks, a season high for him. Another, a solid starting pitching performance for the Dodgers. In spite of the fact that yesterday you could say that, or, I complained that I didn't feel Yamamoto was good enough. He did go 7, and only giving up 3 is enough to win a game, right? So I sometimes look at it and say the pitcher needs to hold the opposition to 0, right? 0 or 1. You can't give up any runs and still win a game. But it's rare that we put it on the defense. Last night you could put it on the offense as well. Scoring 3 runs against the Rockies, unforgivable. Like, it's not enough. It's not good enough. So tonight Sheehan went 6. That is good enough. He gave up 4 runs on 6 hits. But he struck out 7, which is a season high for him.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
This is an easy one tonight when they had a grand total of 18 hits, multiple players with 2 or more. Rojas with 2, Teo had 2, Freddie with 2, Will Smith had 3 hits, average up to 308. And the OPS over 900. Mookie with a pair, 2 for 6. Shohei went 1 for 5 with 2 RBI and a run scored. But the player of the game, Alex Call, 4 hits, a triple shy of the cycle, 2 RBI, and the longest home run of the season for the Dodgers. Not surprisingly, coming in Denver, Colorado, the Mile High City.
This is what you'll be talking about.
The Dodgers lay one on the worst team in baseball. What should have happened yesterday, what should happen tomorrow, definitely happened tonight. The Dodgers broke out, exercised a few demons after losing yesterday, feeling good about the offense. And I know we shouldn't get too excited about beating the Rockies, but at the same time, as we saw yesterday, they're clearly capable of losing to the Rockies. So I think we need to take the wins and say, hey, this is positive. Lots of offense, lots of good pitching. Dreyer came in for an inning, gave up a hit, 8 pitches. Kasperius gave up a hit through 11 pitches. And Bonda in the 9th, 0s all the way across on 10 pitches. So everything solid, offense, defense. Did Freeland end up with a hit? He was the one that didn't have a hit, but he also didn't start. Freeland did not get a hit. So the only guy who played tonight for the Dodgers that didn't get a hit.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Well, they scored in the first. Freeman with the double. He knocked in Will Smith, who scored, who walked rather. And then Teo doubled, scoring Freddie. That made it 2-0. So if we go by the rule that the Rockies scored 4, I guess the turning point would be the third, when Alex Call singled to left, knocking in Freddie and Teo to third. That's where the game really got out of hand in the third inning. Alex Call, Miggy Rojas with an RBI, and then the newest Dodger, Kennedy, reached on an infield single to second. Alex Call scored, Rojas over to third. That made it 7-0. The Rockies kind of got back into it a little bit, 7-2, then 7-4. When Eric Karras' son, Kyle, went deep, 381 feet. Warming Bernabel on base as well to make it a 3-run game. But from there, the Dodgers added on. We'll get into that a little bit and maybe go back to the comments and see where all the Dodger haters are. I love this. The Dodger haters jump out and, come out of the woodwork when the Dodgers beat good teams. And then when they beat bad teams, those same people come out of the woodwork and, oh, the Dodgers suck. They're beating a crappy team. Blah, blah, blah. That's what makes sports great, right? Anyway, we'll get to lots of. Evan has a lot of words tonight that he just is. He's reciting history of baseball and all of the Dodgers collapses. The Dodgers collapse is literally an MLB tradition. 2017 to the Astros, 2018 to the Red Sox. Correct me if I'm wrong, dude. Those were in the World Series. You cannot call losing in the World Series a collapse. God, you are pushing my buttons tonight. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not reading your comments anymore, Evan. You've pushed my button one too many times, and I'm doing what my bosses hate. I'm making this show about you. And unfortunately, Evan G., it is not about you. It's about the Dodgers and the Dodger fans. Why don't you go to LockedOnYankeesPostcast.com? They do this show for the Yankees, too. Forget the name of the host, but he's a good dude. He's very knowledgeable. You can go to LockedOnYankees.com. Go over there, and you guys can blow smoke up each other's asses over there. Okay? By the way, how are your Yankees doing? Let's talk about that after the break. Let's get into how great the Yankees are all the time. Dodgers tonight on 11-4 win over the Rockies. It's the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers postcast brought to you by FanDuel. August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day. Brand new holiday for football fans. That's what football fans need, another holiday. Got Super Bowl Sunday, the day after the Super Bowl is now a holiday. Draft day, that's a whole set of days. That's a draft weekend. Fantasy is a whole draft thing, but here's another one. Fantasy Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot divisional winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ, before week one even starts, this is your moment. So visit FanDuel. Use the app. FanDuel's got an app. You can also go to their website, but the app's more fun and it's easier. It's right in your pocket at all times. And start planning your future bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. Today's episode is also brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Preseason is already heating up and college football isn't far behind. Whether you've got your eye on big name quarterbacks or breakout running backs, Prize Picks makes it easy to get in the game. Prize Picks also has the flex play option, which is a total game changer. Even when one of your picks misses, if you have multiple, 3 or 4, you can flex it and miss one and still pay. Double your money at times. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And the downloads are easy, the deposits are easy, and the withdrawals are easy. I remember the deposit being super hassle-free. I don't know if I ever actually withdrew any money, but supposedly it goes right to your Venmo, which is awesome. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, Dodgers take care of business as we expected. This is what they're supposed to do. Beat garbage teams, especially the worst one in baseball. All right, Evan, Yankee fan. Let's see how the Yankees are doing. Second place. 67-57. Under 500 on the road. Oh, wow. Such a dynasty. They've won 3 in a row, 7 of their last 10. They're starting to find some rhythm. 37-25 in the Bronx. 5.5 back of the Jays. Oof. That's tough. The Jays aren't that good. Remember, who just won a series against the Jays? I think that was the Dodgers. Yeah. Took 2 of 3 from them rather dominantly. Yeah, and they probably should have won the third one. But as I'm sure you are aware, they choked in that one. They are, what's the word that he's used here multiple times today? Can't remember. Collapsed. Yeah, they collapsed in that one. I'm sure you're aware. But the Dodgers are 72-54, 2.5 ahead of the Padres, 5-5 over their last 10. Brewers are just red hot, 79-47. They have won, although they've lost 2 in a row, 7 of their last 10, and they went on a massive, what'd they win? 14. My dad just visiting from Tennessee. He's not a big baseball fan. My dad likes basketball more than anything, but the Brewers are so hot that even he's aware of what's going on with them. They won 14 in a row or something. Absolutely insane. And that all started against the Dodgers. They came in there and weren't red hot, and then all of a sudden got red hot against the Dodgers and never backed off the throttle. So anyway, Rumor brings up a good point here. I'm sorry. I'm surprised I didn't get to this sooner. Rumor. Thank you. Or Rumar. Evan G is still disturbed by the Dodgers knocking off his Yankees in the World Series. Totally overmatched. Yeah. How'd that go? Was that a collapse too, Evan? Did your Yankees collapse? No, you don't collapse in the World Series. The Dodgers dominated them. They won 4 out of 5, right? And in that one game, the last one, that was a collapse for sure. So I would agree with Rumar that you're still ticked off about that. What does Dusty Willis have to say? I just like that name. Dusty Willis. Sounds like a gunfighter in the Old West. I'm Dusty Willis. I still think Yoshi did his job last night. The loss was 100% on the offense or lack thereof. That's a great point. Yeah, you can put it on a lot of people, right? Last night was just tough. Yoshi was okay, right? I was a little tough on him, sure. And he hasn't been good in the month of August. So 2 of his 3 starts were absolute garbage, and one of them was really good. So yeah, he did enough to win last night. Fair point, Dusty, without a doubt. And I think I started the show with that information, that giving up 3 runs, going 7 is an admirable outing, without a doubt. And they would have won the game if he didn't give up that home run, but it's not on him by any stretch. Showtime says, Pete, that's right. Saying things about Show was uncalled for. Saying that, what did he say? Pete, that's right. Saying things about Show was uncalled for. I'm not sure what I said or what someone else said, but anyway, I apologize to you guys. This show has been totally hijacked by Evan. And if any of my producers or higher ups watch, I'm going to get an email or a phone call. But Evan is now all over Shohei Ohtani saying he will go to jail soon for his Hawaii fraud. Can't wait. Oh, I love the conspiracy theories now. Oh, this is great. Let's jump to the bottom. Hopefully his keyboard breaks. BHKBJJ, Dusty Willis is correct. Yamamoto did well last night. He pitched 7 and gave up only 3 runs. That's a 3.85 ERA for a game at Coors Field, which is the worst ballpark. It's a great point. That's another great point. Thank you, BHKBJJ. Can we make one request? Can I make one request? If you have a handle that's not a word or a name, change it to a word or a name. Something that's more than just a bunch of initials or letters, so we can refer to you by at least a name, please. Don't get me wrong, BHJJBBKK. I appreciate you jumping in. Always appreciate the comments. I said that I was going to get to this big, was it the 7th when the Dodgers really broke it open? Yeah, big 7th inning. Pajas led off with a single. Alex Call looking for the triple. A Texas leaguer or a duck snort. as Joe likes to call it, one of my favorite baseball terms of all time, the duck snort. Rojas, a sacrifice, playing small ball. Another thing that I absolutely love today in a rout, 11-4 the final, playing some small ball. Hopefully Dave Roberts takes this philosophy and uses it in tight games against better teams. But small ball is something the Dodgers, we don't see a lot of that from them. And Pages scored on a pass ball. That was beautiful because that was heads up base running from Andy Pages there. He took the big lead, aggressive secondary lead. The second the ball got past the catcher, he broke. There was no hesitation. There was no waiting. It was just aggressive running from Andy Pages. So good stuff there. And then Ohtani, a fielder's choice to score a run on a ball hit easily above 100 miles an hour. And a nice play by Tovar at second there to dig that one out to keep it from getting even worse. And then Will Smith singles home Ohtani to make it 10-4. And then in the ninth inning, Will Smith, his third hit, an RBI single to score Miggy Rojas. And Mookie Betts gets the third, who also had 2 hits tonight. So 18 total for the Dodgers. Nice. Breaking out. Busting out a can of whoop ass. Just hot bats. Let's hope it continues tomorrow. If I heard correctly, I don't spend a lot of time looking too far ahead. This is a 4-game set in Colorado against the Rocks because tomorrow's at 5:40. And then, Thursday, the getaway day, a 12:10 start. So Ohtani will take on Gordon tomorrow again at 5:40 at Coors. And then on Thursday, Kershaw gets the ball against Dollander, 12:10 for the start there. That's going to do it. 11-4 tonight. Fun game. I love beatdowns, especially coming on the heels of a loss to the worst team in baseball. Everything tonight was good. Positive all the way across. 7 Ks, a season high for Emmit Sheehan. And the Dodgers just cruised to victory. And we came in here and I got distracted by Evan. I apologize for that. But Evan, thank you for jumping in. I do appreciate your interesting opinions. We'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And as always, thanks for your comments. I am Pete Fox. It's the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel, where you can find the Locked On Daily Dodgers podcast Monday through Friday, hosted by Travis Rogers. So make sure you check him out. Thanks a lot. Take care. Have a good night. We'll talk tomorrow.